top school for models.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. Got a game lined up for you on this wide open Wednesday. A little warm out there, but at least we got some cloud cover. The old partly cloudy gimmick, but it is still mostly sunny out there. A little over 90 degrees. Feels like 104. So you know the deal. Lots of water, lots of agua. I'll do it on air and show you how it's done in a second. Drinking water. It's important. On this wide open Wednesday edition of the program, you're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss, whatever you think is important, maybe something we're not discussing enough, maybe something we've missed entirely, or maybe a lot of folks have just the wrong take on it. You're the show producer on Wide Open Wednesday. And unlike all the other programs locally or nationally, we don't screen phone calls and we don't cut you off, especially if we disagree. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480 on this wide open Wednesday edition of the program, where New Orleans talks. 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, 600 AM from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida. We're on TV all over Louisiana, wherever Cox Television is. If you subscribe to Cox TV, we're there. If you subscribe to Charter Spectrum Television, we're there. Cox Channel 4 from 4 p.m. to 5:30 weekdays. That's right now, Cox Channel 4 all over Louisiana. Your View, Louisiana, Cox Channel 4. We're on Spectrum Charter Channel 333. Spectrum Channel 333 all over Louisiana. CoreyTalks.com live streaming. Listen to the show, watch the show, CoreyTalks.com. And if you're watching, our website just links you up to our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe. It don't cost nothing. Check out our YouTube channel. Wide Open Wednesday. You're the show producer. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. The city was arguing earlier in court today to end the consent decree, saying that the consent decree was stopping the city from fighting crime properly. And the judge was pretty smart about it. It's like the consent decree is not supposed to have any kind of hindrance on you fighting crime. There has to be other reasons why you're having trouble fighting crime. And maybe we don't release this consent decree because of that. So I don't know if it was a good idea or not. I'll get you updated on that. But the city arguing in court today to end the consent decree. It's a pretty, it sounds good what the city's throwing out there. And then the judge's reaction seems pretty logical as well. Brad Pitt's Make It Wrong Foundation, a $20.5 million settlement in a class action lawsuit. I guess the homeowners are going to receive a little over maybe $125,000, maybe $130 each, something like that. 125, 130,000. If you're out there, you're one of those 100 plus homeowners or friends or family of one, you know what the settlement amount is. Let us know. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. I don't think there's like, hey man, someone had a 3,000 square foot house and someone's Brad Pitt house was only 1,200 square feet. I think all of them were, I'm guessing somewhere in the neighborhood of 900, 1,000 square feet to maybe 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 square feet tops. So I think they're all kind of cookie cutter in that neighborhood within a few hundred square feet of each other. No, that was just, first off, it's just like, hey, Brad Pitt, mind your own business. or at the least you want to help, get permission. Get permission. And Brad Pitt said, wow, America, the city of New Orleans, they got devastated. That's kind of a poor neighborhood. Let's go build houses there. Did you talk to the city or state? Like, what's the master plan post-Katrina? And what's going to become of that neighborhood where you just went in and started rebuilding houses? You're Brad Pitt, you're Hollywood. It's post-traumatic experience. Be like an earthquake or wildfire. Like, who's saying no immediately afterwards when you're ready to go immediately? No, ready to go immediately because you don't know construction. You know nothing about it. A bunch of folks come in and sell you a bunch of inferior products that you think you're getting a good deal on. These people care and are donating it at a good price. I don't know why, but you bought into it and bought a bunch of garbage, a bunch of crap that, I don't know, is from China, that rots, decays, falls apart, shoddy architecture, shoddy construction. I don't know what it is. When they were brand new and first built, they looked pretty funky and pretty cool. But think about this. Public former project buildings all around New Orleans, the major projects torn down, the stuff that was rebuilt post-Katrina. I was skeptical. I was like, I hope this stuff lasts. It seems to be lasting. Seems to be pretty solid. We're 17 years into it, and most of those areas, those reborn neighborhoods, projects gone, new mixed, development, they seem to be holding up pretty good. Brad Pitt houses are gone, falling apart, worthless. No, just comes in, short-sighted Hollywood, Brad Pitt, no city or state approval, head first. Not worrying about anyone's master plan. Let's just go in and be heroes and rebuild in a poor neighborhood. Utterly ridiculous. Really is. Anyway, I'm about $20.5 million settlement. Lawyers getting $7-8 million of that. Let's call it $13 million really left. 100 plus. You want to call it 130,000 for easy math? 130,000 a piece, roughly. I'm guessing it's going to be a little less than that because they're north of 100 folks. Anyway, Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Have you been to the lower Ninth Ward north of Claiborne, in between the Intracoastal and Claiborne? Have you been there? There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres there. I don't know how many lots, hundreds of lots, hundreds of home sites, maybe 1,000. I don't know, hundreds. And there's, I don't think 100 homes back. I'll have to drive through there and count. I think it's just several dozen splattered around next to an area where, like, hey, if you have to bury someone you murdered, just throw them in that lot because the grass is 8 feet high and hasn't been messed with in years. Illegal dumping, folks on one block all by themselves, no one around them, just lots overgrown, some cut, trailer type stuff. It's just horrible. Streets all messed up. No, when Ray Nagin was like, it was courageous to open up the entire city, no, that was easy. The courageous thing would be to lead, and that would require closing some areas like lower Ninth Ward on the north side of Claiborne. North side of Claiborne. Now, I mean, you've got some things, the school, churches, things like that right on the Claiborne corridor, but rebuilding that neighborhood, hey, we'll go work on the south side of it first in the lower Ninth, where it's more dense packed, where more people are and where it's coming back. Plus, Claiborne's the north side of it. You got St. Claude on the other side. Just really short-sighted, lack of leadership. Brad Pitt comes in and wrecks it. Probably would have been light industrial. May have had the Florida Avenue Expressway already built. No, just a nightmare. Brad Pitt, Make It Wrong Foundation. No, that was brutal. That cost the city a lot. That's a major setback. Now, we missed a lot post-Katrina. The economy going into a recession, billions in private money that would have been rolling into New Orleans. I'm talking billions in private money didn't happen because of that recession. No, and things like the Brad Pitt Make It Wrong Foundation, too. Just ready, fire, aim type of stuff. Hey, VP Mike Pence says defund police, defund FBI, equally stupid. I think he's 100% right. Defund police, defund FBI, as silly as it gets. You know it's not silly? Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, nothing silly about it. Fresh local seafood, and they're open till 9 p.m. Get the gumbo, get the turtle soup, some onion rings, flounder, speckled trout, snapper. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, no cool spots. NolaAC.com, no cool spots.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Boy, that guy's right about Trey Yen in Mandeville. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black. I think we're down to one trivia question, Jason. The old Joe Biedenharn. Old Joe Biedenharn. Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, was tight with Joe Biedenharn. They grew up together. That is a 110% fabrication because this is like over 100 years ago. Joe Biedenharn of Monroe, Louisiana, the first Coca-Cola bottler outside of Atlanta in the United States. I think this is over 100 years ago. He also later started which airline? Monroe's Joe Biedenharn. Hey, no Google, Yahoo. You don't have to think, how do I spell Biedenharn? No Yahoo, no Google, no DuckDuckGo, no Bing, no search engines, no intranet device. You either know it up in the old brain, skull cap, cranium, that deal, or you don't know it. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate, 504-766-9480. Joe Biedenharn of Monroe started which airline? America's first Coca-Cola bottler outside of Atlanta started which airline? Talking about Joe Biedenharn of Monroe. 766-9480. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate if you can answer the Joe Biedenharn question. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa, the flagship location in Mid-City, Canal Street at Carrollton. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, Transcontinental at West Esplanade. They're on the North Shore in Slidell, I-10 at Gauze. Coming soon to the North Shore, a second location, Mandeville, Trey Yen Country. Yeah, you're right. Another location of the Woodhouse, Baton Rouge, by the Mall of Louisiana. 4 area Woodhouse Day Spas, a 5th Mandeville coming before the year's out. Yeah, you right. You can find out more about them, nola.woodhousespas.com. Guys, that includes printing your own gift certificate for her. You can go to the website and print your own gift certificate online, any denomination. Hit the Walgreens, get a Hallmark card. Kaboom goes the dynamite. An unexpected gift, a gift for no reason. Trust me, I'm divorced. No, that's one thing, divorced or not. I'm right about it. Ask her. An unexpected gift. I don't know, unless you're just like a total deviant and are a blatant liar in the relationship, then she thinks he's like, what did he do, I guess. But everybody else in normal relationships, she loves an unexpected gift. And she loves the Woodhouse Day Spa. It's exactly what she wants. Grand slam home run. You can't go wrong with that. You can print your own gift certificates online at nola.woodhousespas.com. Joe Biedenharn of Monroe, the first Coca-Cola bottler outside of Atlanta, started this airline. Which airline? Give me the answer. 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse is yours. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. Liz Cheney losing big time in her primary in Wyoming, but she says she's not done and the fight has just begun. Now, the Republican Party's strange. I mean, the Democrats are really strange. The Democrats are, I think like you want a definition of a party. And sadly, just how it is, I think it's got to be like potato soup or tomato soup, like kind of a basic fundamental one or two things to the party. The Democrats are like gumbo, like you got a really great gumbo, and then someone just said, "Hey, throw corn in there. Hey, throw some just throw whatever, green beans. Throw some chunks of beef. Throw some chicken wings in there." So all of a sudden you're like, this is crazy. I'm not saying like the Democrats are too diverse with people. They're too diverse with, blue dog Democrats, moderate Democrats, supposedly, progressives, socialists. It's all over the place. The Republicans basically just have it splintered into two parties. They've got the pro-Trump populists, and then you've got the Liz Cheney types. And Trump carries a bigger stick than Liz Cheney and has more influence. And Trump, his pick, crushed Liz Cheney. But you can't say Liz Cheney's not a rhino. She's not a moderate or left-leaning Democrat. No Democrat or liberal thinks she is a liberal or a Democrat or a left-sided Republican. Boy, maybe we could swear to independent or Democrat. No one's thinking that. No independent thinks that she's middle of the road. She's a pretty lock, stock, and barrel conservative. Her father, the former VP, she is a Bush, Ronald Reagan, Jack Kemp. She's a modern American conservative Republican. And Donald Trump has literally hijacked the party. That's good or bad? Hey, I think Trump has hijacked the party, but I like how he votes. He's popular. He moves the needle, whatever. I'm just saying you have this outsider who's not Cheney's a lifelong Republican. Donald Trump's probably been a Democrat more than a Republican in his life. All over the place. This happened to be the, happy landing spot. He could easily be a Democrat if that was the more popular thing and fit his personality better. And Republicans were more like Democrats where they say, hey, punch me in the face. I enjoy it. It's light getting beat up, the liberals. So, things were flipped around the other way. Maybe he'd be a Democrat. It's wherever the wind was blowing. Liz Cheney's a conservative Republican. I'm not sitting here bashing Trump. Not telling you to vote against him, but that's reality. Folks that think Liz Cheney's bad Liz Cheney is textbook conservative Republican. Textbook. Not wavering from that. Not at all. Never thought of Liz Cheney as a moderate. She's middle of the road Republican. Anyway, Liz Cheney ousted in Wyoming. Former Vice President Mike Pence says, defund the police, defund the FBI, equally as stupid. He's like, you go after the AG if you want. Don't go after the men and women that make up the FBI. And that's so true. It's ridiculous. It is. Mike Pence is right. We may not agree on a whole lot, but defund the police is utterly ridiculous and stupid and short-sighted and ignorant and just silly. And defund the FBI, all of those things. All of those things equally as stupid. I agree with the vice president. The vice president also says he would consider testifying for a January 6th committee if asked. I don't know if he was asked that question or just volunteered that information. I'm going to have to find that out. I honestly don't know if Mike Pence was specifically asked. If you were asked to testify, would you? Or if he just blurted that out. But regardless, he says he would consider testifying for the January 6th committee if asked. That's like a green light to go get Pence. But they've already, I think, interviewed a few of Pence's lawyers, aides. It would be maybe a redundancy. I don't know. Seems like you get a lot of oomph with the VP up there. Corey Johnson with you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Yesterday, we had Oliver Thomas on. We were talking about the Six Flags site getting developed. The needle moved since yesterday, since that program. The Six Flags project clears a hurdle over site ownership. It's crazy. Like the city had to officially move it from one city entity to another city entity. and then pass it. Then they could write the contract with the Bayou Phoenix group, which I think I called River Phoenix yesterday. Anyway. No, I made a bet with Oliver. I tried to. Oliver's too smart. I said, Oliver, this target that may or may not happen, I'll bet that happens sooner than Six Flags. And he didn't want to take that bet. He agreed with me. Anyway, maybe after yesterday's program, the city trying to move the needle, getting this Six Flags things moving along. About 11 months later, what did I tell you when that went down? When Drew Brees and Demario Davis are the runner-ups, when it's not Buc-ee's, Bass Pro Shop, Flying J Truck Stop, Disney Company, Joe Blow Water Park, whatever, when it's not something like that, where they're going to break ground quick. I mean, if Buc-ee's would have been announced 11 months ago, there'd be a big cinder block metal frame up of, Buc-ee's halfway done. Or a Flying J Truck Stop or Cabela's Bass Pro Shop would have been ideal. Right at the footsteps of the sportsman's paradise. 15 minutes from fresh, brackish, salt water, just rivers, waters, lakes, bayou, the Gulf. Unbelievable. No, instead, 11 months later, absolutely zero done. The needle hasn't moved. Corey Johnson with you, Wide Open Wednesday.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Find decadent dining deals as part of Culinary New Orleans, August 1st through 31st. Treat yourself to prix-fixe meals, $25 or less for lunch and $45 or less for dinner and brunch. Visit culinaryneworleans.com and make your reservation today.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program where you're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss, we do it on Wide Open Wednesday. 504-766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line 766-9480. Joe Biedenharn of Monroe, the first Coca-Cola bottler outside of Atlanta, also started this airline. GQ in Covington emailed us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. GQ in Covington emailed us the correct answer. So we're going to tighten him up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate, but we're not going to announce that answer. So you television, radio, YouTube followers can dial us up via the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480, and answer that question yourself. Joe Biedenharn, which airline did he start up there in Monroe? Funroe. Well, you got up by Lake Providence, St. Joe, Farmerville. What were some other, Monroe and West Monroe, some other little spots around there up in Monroe. Corey Johnson with you on a Wide Open Wednesday. Still difficult to get to Monroe. I-20 blows through there, but there's nothing that really goes from north-south into Monroe. State highways and the like. Which really keeps me away from Monroe because I often dream of going to Monroe often. And it's just part of my life that's missing, the easy access to Monroe, by golly. Oh, boy. The program's really hit a new low when we're talking about Monroe. Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program. The city arguing in court today to end the consent decree, basically saying we can't get the job done as a police force because this consent decree is restricting us. And the judge is like, the consent decree is not supposed to restrict you. It's supposed to just put, definitive policy in place that you follow. And it's put into other places. You've had them in place here before where no one blamed the consent decree on the crime problem. So I think there's other problems, other issues you have that have nothing to do with the consent decree, and maybe you need to fix those before we lift this consent decree. I don't know which way the court's going to rule on this, but the city's argument could actually backfire on the city. Like, you want out of the consent decree and you're blaming it on not being able to police? No, there's underlying reasons why you can't police. And we're not lifting the consent decree until you can police. So I don't know if the argument's good or not. We'll see. We'll soon find out if it was solid or backfires. total backfire. Brad Pitt's Make It Wrong Foundation, a $20 million settlement. I'm guessing about $13 million after the lawyers take their part, 33 to 40%. About $125,000, maybe $130,000 for each homeowner. It's like about 100 plus homeowners. What a nightmare that is. What a nightmare that was. That area was probably not going to be redeveloped as housing. Keep that on the south side of Claiborne in the lower Ninth Ward. That Intracoastal Waterway side, the Florida Avenue side, we're not going to have housing there in between Claiborne and Florida Avenue. We're not going to have housing there. We're going to maybe make that light industrial or something like that. Maybe make it parks and playgrounds. Maybe make it a big retention pond so the lower Ninth Ward physically can't flood. They pump the water into the industrial, waterway, and that goes out into the lake, into the Wrigley's, into the river, to the locks, whatever. And that huge area north of Claiborne is ready to take all the water from the lower Ninth Ward in between Claiborne and St. Claude. Anyway, Brad Pitt comes in there with no city approval, no state approval, just a Hollywood guy from afar. Oh, man, look at those people. They're suffering. I'm going to go in there and rebuild houses. I'm Brad Pitt. I can get a lot of money. I don't know contracting. I don't know building supplies. I don't know anything. And then just screws it up from start to finish and then wrecks the master plan that New Orleans and the state pretty much had going for that area, and it wasn't rebuilding housing in it. Now, here's the kicker. Go drive down there 17 years later and look. There's a few dozen houses, and these poor people are living in like the middle of a block, no neighbor next door, overgrown weeds, abandoned blocks and lots. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. Wild animals up in there. It's insane. Ask the people that live up in there. That isn't what they came back for. They came back to live in a neighborhood, not to live in a desolate, isolated area with terrible streets and 90% of the homes not back 17 years later. Something really wrong with that. Let's go to the phone lines to Kennebra, where Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Parks got the big Lamarck Automotive Complex. Kristen joins us in Kenner. Kristen, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for finding us. Thanks for calling up. What's on your mind?
I was calling with an answer about the Coca-Cola guy, Delta Airlines.
Yeah. How do you know the answer to that?
I Googled it.
Uh-oh. That's cheating.
Yeah, well, it's not common knowledge for me, so might as well just be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to tighten you up anyway because I'm easy. But that's cheating, Kristen. No Google, no Yahoo, no internet device. That's what makes it tough trivia. Anyone can read us the wiki page. I wanted you to, hey, I knew because my grandfather used to fly for that airline or some gimmick like that where we learn a little something that wiki can't teach us,
Hey, I might not be right.
No, I think you're right. Google's probably right. I just want you to keep it to yourself. We'll let someone else win. But I'm going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate anyway.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
Yep. What about Brad Pitt? These Hollywood types. I mean, I like folks that have notoriety and fame like Brad Pitt that can go raise $100 million and feed the homeless and do stuff for the good of mankind. But when you're, don't know what's going on and you kind of ready, fire, aim, and don't think it through, and it ends up being a big disaster like this, it's just a horrible thing.
I mean, he's got good intentions. I'm sure Matthew McConaughey does and all the rest of the celebrities that Sean Penn want to help, but they don't know the culture down here. They just don't know what's going on. They don't research it properly. And
you're right.
They get bitten in the butt.
You're so right. I think that's well said. I think it's good intentions, and I think could be here, could be anywhere in the world. They see something, they react to it. It's like maybe do some research and find out what the people down there want and how they might do it, and those kind of things. But
what they need, the building materials. Research all that before you go putting a house together.
Exactly.
And,
maybe you could
a fancy architect it might work somewhere else, but it's not going to work in Louisiana.
Exactly. Why didn't you implement cypress and heart pine and things that are conducive to our environment that last? No, that's so true. So true, Kristen. Yeah. Ready, fire, aim. That's the whole deal.
Yeah, he could look no further than plantation homes to find out what's a sturdy house that can withstand.
Exactly.
If it can last in the 1800s, it can last now. But you can't bring a bunch of plastic, whatever he brought over here, and expect it to last. It just doesn't work.
No, I think a bunch of Chinese garbage is what he brought in. Hey, seriously, Kristen, hang on. All right.
All right, thank you.
That's Kristen in Kenner, Brad. She's going to be heading to that Woodhouse Day Spa near North Kenner, almost to Kenner, West Esplanade to Transcontinental, the Metairie location. Good job, Kristen. Jason's going to get some info from you, and we will get you a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. He's got a furry underbelly. It's the goat joining us on the program.
What up, Corey?
You're the pre-goat. You're not greatest of all time. You're just the goat, like a furry little woolly goat, right?
The woolly goat is correct.
Yep.
Woolly goat.
Not the greatest of all time.
Red hot spot. But listen, I wanted to quickly share with you some positive feedback. I've enjoyed over the past couple of weeks the guests you brought in. Oliver Thomas, I loved how, you were talking about Farrell's and New Orleans East. And, the reality is, New Orleans is one, right? It's not us against them. It's one. And so it was great, your recollection, which was my recollection of the 70s and just, how outstanding it could be. I've also enjoyed, Michael Heck. I've also enjoyed Goeneche, when you've had him on as well. So I'm not sure how much feedback you're getting from the radio listeners, but, keep up a good job there. That's been fantastic. Today, I just wanted to just quickly talk about, as you're talking to maybe the Oliver Thomases, what are we going to do with all these roads that are under construction? I know crime is definitely at the top, but followed right under there is like the infrastructure.
Yeah.
It'd be great to maybe get somebody who oversees all that.
No, and that's a great point. And Goat, I'm actually supposed to be getting some department heads from the mayor's office on, so I'll definitely discuss that. And I'll talk about that when we come back about these road projects, how they're overdue and needed, but why there's a problem with how it's being done. Coming right back.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30. And they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home. If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504-766-9480. Kristen cheated. She used the internet device. That's a no-no. So that trivia question about Joe Biedenharn of Monroe, the first Coca-Cola bottler outside of Atlanta. Which airline did he start? I thought the Monroe thing was I really hadn't heard of Joe Biedenharn, but I knew the airline from Monroe. Anyway, I figured someone else would, but maybe not. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 504-766-9480. You got the correct answer. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. The Pelicans schedule's been released. Season opens October 19th in Brooklyn versus the Nets. The home openers a few days later, October 19th. October 23rd against the Jazz. 18 games on primetime television of 82, almost 25% of the schedule. 7, almost half are on NBA TV, but a half dozen on TNT. And that's always entertaining as hell because Charles Barkley and that crew is really good. 5 will be on ESPN. So Zion and Willie Green's crew, Ingram and company, McCollum and company, getting a lot of primetime eyes on them. That's good stuff. That there's money involved when it's TV. It's like I talk about the Saints. You know, I love the Vegas over under, and I love how many primetime games you get: Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football, because there's money involved in that. Advertising dollars. They want high ratings. They want bad teams playing. So those are the greatest barometers in the world, but they're decent barometers because both of them involve cash. With Vegas, it's gambling and money. With these networks, it's advertising. They come up with a crappy lineup in the Monday night or Sunday night or Thursday night football ratings tank. They're not getting the same dollars for the advertising the next year. So they want the best. So, and Vegas doesn't want to lose money. They go out of business. So, no, I like over-unders. Just, hey, I wonder what Vegas thinks. And I like, hey, how many primetime games you got? The Pels have 18. I think that says the television people think the Pelicans are a playoff team. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't schedule them 18 times. They'd be like, well, we don't want to tank the ratings and put this, non-playoff sub 500 club out there. So no, I like that kind of stuff. Again, it doesn't. Oh wow, Pelicans have 18 primetime games. They're a playoff team for sure. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying one of many things you can kind of use to see how the team's going to do. And I like follow the money, so I like Vegas over under, and I like primetime games for whatever that's worth. I like Helm Paint and Decorating. So do a lot of New Orleanians. Over 50 years. Steering you in the right direction. It's a super no-brainer. When people in New Orleans need to paint, they go to Helm Paint and Decorating. They're on the West Bank now, Stump West Bank Expressway, New Orleans, Metairie, Kenner, Mandeville, Hammond, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. Free 2-hour delivery anywhere in the metro New Orleans area. You can go online, look at the Benjamin Moore products, pick out which line of Benjamin Moore paint you want to use. Helm Paint and Decorating will take care of the rest. It's easy. When you got to paint in metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. You go to Helm Paint and Decorating. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Have you made 93.9 FM one of your presets? Lock and load it. 93.9. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. You can check us out right now at 107.9 FM. We're on television till 5:30, Cox Channel 4 television, Spectrum Channel 333 television, all over Louisiana. Live streaming till 6. Take the show with you to the gym, to the hunting camp, CoreyTalks.com. We're live on YouTube till 6 o'clock. And then after the fact, you can check out the program on YouTube or Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. We're on YouTube, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Or you can link up to YouTube via the website, CoreyTalks.com. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thank you so much for checking us out. Vice President Mike Pence pretty much says the obvious. Smart, because there's sides that folks are picking on this. It's funny, but he's like, defund the police, defund the FBI, equally stupid. He's basically saying, hey, you lunatic, woke, hyper-progressive leftists, defund the police? What are you, stupid? And then he's saying, hey, you wacky right-wingers, not conservative Republicans, you insane wacky right-wingers, wink, wink, some of my former bosses, pals, Trump's folks, defund the FBI? Equally as stupid. It's mind-boggling. You think one side does something dumb, there's no way the other side's going to do an equal and opposite. Just wait a few months. They'll do an equal and opposite. I like and dislike the Republicans and Democrats the same. That's why since I was 18 and it was time to register, am I a Democrat or am I a Republican? I don't associate with either one of those. Oh, other independent, that's what I'll do. That's when I was 18. I've never been a registered Democrat or a registered Republican in my life. I doubt I ever will be. And there's nothing wrong with that. If I were a liberal Democrat, I'd register Democrat. If I were a conservative Republican, I'd register Republican. If I were libertarian, I'd register libertarian. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way next. Don't go anywhere. Guess who's waking up right now? Oh, yeah. What's up, Blue Boy? I'm 18 years old. I'm a basset hound. I'm a bad boy. You are. And you meant bad boy like you're a bad, you know what. Yeah, I hear you. You're actually a really good boy. What? 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans, legal IDs. I got you. What else? Tell folks to stick around. 5 o'clock powwow and X. Blue Boy, you don't miss a beat. Thank you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry, superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
Find decadent dining deals as part of Culinary New Orleans, August 1st through 31st. Treat yourself to prix meals, $25 or less for lunch, and $45 or less for dinner and brunch. Visit culinaryneworleans.com and make your reservation today.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
I thought Jim Rockford was pretty cool when I was a kid.
It's early at the
I liked Angel. That character was hysterical.
so great on you. Your favorite? We lost it.
I liked how he would go like down an alley backwards in that Pontiac Firebird and then spin it around and just go into drive down like some tight alley. Old Jim Rockford lived in a trailer, I think in Malibu, right on the beach. I thought Jim Rockford was cool, but what do I know? It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. The 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Brought to you by Katie's this afternoon. 5 o'clock power hour on this wide open Wednesday. Brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. It is pure New Orleans. Folks start popping into Katie's around 11 a.m. And then after like the main lunch is over with, like 11 to 2, folks still roll into Katie's. In there all day at the bar, grabbing a table, enjoying some New Orleans delicacies, some New Orleans specialties, old school, a mid-city mainstay, Katie's tonight for dinner. Hey, and you folks over there in Harahan, they bring a little mid-city New Orleans Katie's flavor to Hickory Avenue over at Bienvenue. Yeah, Bienvenue is the Katie's of Harahan. Go check them out. Bienvenue on Hickory and Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon brought to you by Katie's Restaurant. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. That means you're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss. Rouse's Markets phone lines. That's how you can participate. 504-766-9480. Maybe you're listening on radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. Maybe you're checking us out on television. Cox Channel 4, Spectrum Channel 333. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's CoreyTalks.com live streaming. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. Love to hear from you. That $50 Woodhouse Day Spot trivia question still out there. That guy from Monroe, Joe Biedenharn, first Coca-Cola bottler outside of Atlanta. Which airline did he start? Which airline did he start? Out of Monroe. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa will be yours, but no cheating, no intranet device. No Google, no DuckDuckGo, no Bing, no Yahoo. You either know the answer or you don't. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. The city arguing in court today to end the consent decree. I get it. And when I first heard it, I was like, okay. I didn't really think through it, I guess, which when you're mayor and you're the city, you've got to think through things. But I didn't really have an opinion about it. I just thought, okay, this is what the city's doing. Basically, the city saying our hands are tied because of this consent decree. We can't do proper policing because of the consent decree. We have a crime problem because of the consent decree. Release us from this hindrance and we can go fight crime in New Orleans. And then the judge said, that isn't how a consent decree works. Consent decree is put in place because your police department was dysfunctional. It needed outside help, federal intervention. When you get your you-know-what together under the consent decree, then the consent decree goes away. But are you really arguing that you can't fight crime because of the consent decree? So it may have backfired, that argument, on the city. I'll let you know. Brad Pitt's Make It Wrong Foundation, make it right, whatever. A $20.5 million settlement class action lawsuit, about 100 plus homeowners in the lower ninth. You figure that 20.5, you can take about 6-7 million out of that, right? 33 to 40% of it going to lawyers, minimum 33%, maybe as much as 40%. So really about 13 million, easy math, 13 million, easy math, 100 homeowners, it's a little more than 100. Comes out to roughly $130,000 each homeowner, 130 grand each homeowner. No, that was so short-sighted. That was ready, fire, aim. Nice thought from Brad Pitt. He can raise the money. He's Brad Pitt, but did he check with the city? Did he check with the state? Did he know the master plan? Or did he just see a poor neighborhood that needed help and let's go rebuild houses? Very short-sighted. Didn't check with the city. Didn't get permission. Just went in and did it. It kind of wrecked the city's plan of maybe abandoning that part of the lower ninth, that in between Claiborne and Intracoastal Water, in between Claiborne and Florida Avenue. Abandon the north side of the lower ninth. Focus on the in between St. Claude and Claiborne, in between St. Claude and the river. Focus in on that part of the lower ninth. From the river to Claiborne, those 2/3, and that top third, maybe let's not build there. It's 17 years later. Drive through there. They should have never rebuilt in that area. It's sinful, the homeowners that are stuck, quotations, stuck in that lower ninth ward, the northern part of the lower ninth, in between the Florida Avenue and Claiborne's and Intracoastal Waterway and Claiborne's, that northern part. No, that should have never been rebuilt. But Brad Pitt went in there right away with his, Chinese sheetrock and just not thinking about New Orleans, our environment. Maybe use cypress and heart pine if you really want to get green. Anyway, it's a disaster. And it's a lot worse than just the homeowners getting burned. Everyone in Metro New Orleans got burned because instead of that area being back in commerce and something new and vibrant, it's what it is today. Go to drive through, not the lower ninth. A lot of that's back. I'm talking specifically north of Claiborne, in between Claiborne and Florida Avenue. It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's about 90+% empty, which means vacant lots, high grass, wild animals. One, elderly couple in their house in the middle of they got their own block to themselves, and the block in front of them. It's crazy. It's not a neighborhood. It's not a neighborhood. It's like purgatory out there. It's crazy. Sinful behavior by the city. Anyway, Brad Pitt, ready, fire, aim. Great. You got a soft spot and you want to help. That's fine. Make sure you know what you're doing. Direct it towards something viable. Don't just shoot from the hip, not get permission, and then do a shoddy job because you know zero about construction. Zero. You may have taken hammered a nail in a movie, and then some contractor to show you how to grab the hammer and make it look like you know what you're doing. Liz Cheney losing huge in her Republican primary in Wyoming. She says she's not done and the fight has just begun. It's funny, the Democrats are hyper splintered, but boy, the Republicans have their own splinter. There's the Liz Cheney conservative Republicans, then they're the Trump populists. Definitely diametrically opposed in that party. Let's hit the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. We head back to Kennebra. Jeff joins us where they land some rather large aircraft at a pretty state-of-the-art facility. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, what's up, Corey? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Thanks for checking us out. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Answering that question, I thought everybody would know that Monroe airline question.
Yep, I know it from Monroe more than Joe Biedenharn.
Delta Airlines, man.
Yep.
Right?
Delta Airlines is correct.
Yeah, you're right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Good job, Jeff. Yeah, Delta Airlines started up in Monroe.
Yeah, I used to be a Delta Airlines employee, so it was kind of easy hand for me to give it. So
You know how many flights out of Atlanta Delta has every day, Jeff?
it's upwards of thousands. I know that.
It's north of 1,000 Delta flights a day. 1,000 a day out of Atlanta's airport, either coming in or out. 1,000 Delta flights in a single day, every day, all the time out of Atlanta. It's absolutely insane. I'd like 1% of those flights, 10 or 12 more flights at Louis Armstrong. Hey, Jeff and Kenner, don't go anywhere. We're going to get some info from you and tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Excellent job, Jeff and Kenner, brah.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Trey Yen in Mandeville. a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Hey, there's a Rouse's Market on the way home. You'll probably pass 2 or 3 Rouse's Markets from work to the house. There's a Rouse's in your neighborhood or right next door to your neighborhood. Rouse's has free pickup, free delivery. Go to rouses.com about that. They'll do your shopping for you and bring it to you. Rouse's Markets, rouses.com. You can find out specials. They've got coupons, weekly ads, all that good stuff. Rouses.com. Best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. Rouse's Markets. Corey Johnson with you. Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program. Wide Open Wednesday means you're the show producer. Whatever you want to discuss. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. That's how you dial us up, 766-9480. The city arguing in court today to end the consent decree. Brad Pitt's Make It Wrong Foundation settling with over 100 homeowners. They're getting, I'm guesstimating, about $120,000, $130,000 each. Liz Cheney loses big in her Republican primary in Wyoming, but she says she's not done and the fight has just begun. I like Liz Cheney. Former Vice President Mike Pence says defund police, that's like defund the FBI, or I should say he said defund FBI is like defund the police, equally as stupid as the other. Defund police, defund FBI, equally stupid. I agree with former Vice President Mike Pence. Defund police is ridiculous. And defund FBI is equally as insane. And it's ironical. It's lunatic left, progressive, woke, hyper left, defund police. And it's wacky right wingers, hardcore conservatives, the MAGA extremists, not just Trump supporters, but the extreme side, kind of the pro-January 6th crew, defund the FBI. One thing's common that I talk about all the time, and I think folks that are Democrats or Republicans like get bummed out I'm not on their side. I am on your side. Moderate Democrats and moderate Republicans. That's the exact people's side I'm on. Independents and moderate libertarians. No, it's the hyper woke lunatic left, and it's the wacky right wing, the extremists that I don't like. Our party has all the answers and the other party is crap. That I don't like. Because if we had all Republican answers or Democrat answers, the country would go into the crapper. It would be a nightmare. No, all I know is when America has done the best, especially economy-wise, Reagan was president, Democrats controlled Congress. Clinton was president, Republicans controlled Congress. But back then, there was more of a work together to some extent, the good of the people. There wasn't, if you could do it within the party, that's great. But there wasn't just this blatant taboo like there is today of crossing party lines, trying to do anything bipartisan. You're like a sellout. You're like the devil. You have to be all in with the party 100% and the other party sucks 100% or you're out. And that's part of the nightmare right now in America. No, Vice President, former VP Mike Pence is 100% correct when he says defund the police, defund the FBI, equally stupid, equally wrong. Pence also said he would consider testifying for the January 6th committee if asked. He wants to testify. Pence wants to testify. You know Mike Pence is not going to be and would not want to be Donald Trump's VP again. It's not the same ticket going in for round two. Like most of the time. I mean, sometimes you have exceptions, different VP, but not really. No, Pence and Trump are done. Pence is like, this guy did not, first off, insulted Pence to his face. Pence took that very personally, as he should have, and then said a lot of disparaging things about Pence publicly. And then worst of all, Pence is thinking to himself, this guy encouraged this mob and was encouraging folks that came in and were like, hang Mike Pence and put a noose up and all that. It's like, this is my president. He's not standing for me in my corner, the opposite. So Mike Pence is definitely split from Donald Trump, but and there's rumors that Mike Pence may run for president himself. I'm Mike Pence. I just go off into the sunset. I'm done. But Mike Pence is, late 50s. He's like, man, I got a lot of time left on the clock and I'm not done politically. And he's obviously the former VP. You've had instances where they've ascended to the presidency. But with today's Republican Party, anti-Trump is the minority. And I think that was proven with Liz Cheney. She not only got beat, she got crushed. The polls weren't even right. The polls weren't, folks thought, man, the polls have to be a little extreme. Liz Cheney will do better than these polls are showing. She did worse than the polls. Liz Cheney got crushed. The Pelicans schedule has been released. 18 primetime games out of 82. That's almost 25% of the season. I like that. I said it earlier that I like the over-under in Vegas because there's money involved. They don't want to be wrong. I like the major networks and picking primetime games because they don't want to put losers on. They don't want to put any losers on. They want to attract an audience each and every night. They know they're not going to achieve it, but they want every primetime game to be winning teams that are coveted, that people want to watch. Because if the overall ratings go down, the next season they don't get as much for the advertising. Ratings go up, they charge more for the advertising. So they don't want to put losers on. So whatever it's worth, they can be wrong, but they're trying to put winning teams. They're trying to put the best teams out there. And the Pelicans, they got them with 18 primetime games. That tells me the people in television that, sales and making money and ratings, they think the Pelicans are a playoff team, a winning team and a playoff team. That's what the TV executives, that they better be right about this more than they're wrong or they lose their jobs. There's a lot of money at stake. This isn't everything. There can be wrong. Vegas can be wrong. They are every year. So are the networks. There'll be dud games on and Vegas will be wrong in some instances. Overall, they're usually right. And it's a nice couple of spokes on the wheel of many spokes where you can kind of figure out if your team's going to be good or not. So just the Pelicans getting 18 primetime games, 7 on NBA TV, 6 on TNT, 5 on ESPN. I think that's a plus. I mentioned this last week about 25 of 26 media members picking the Saints with at least 10 wins. Only one media member out of 26, Ed Daniels, picked the Saints 9-8. There were 10 media members of 26 with 10 wins. There were 11 media members that picked the Saints having 11 wins. I think you had 3 or 4 with 12. You had a 13-win pick from a media member. So it's one of two things. Or C, a little of both. It's A, Homerville, Louisiana. media that doesn't want to make the team mad, that doesn't want to make fans mad, that kind of fan-ish a little bit. We want the team to win. We're hoping they win. Let's go with what the optimum record, the positive-minded record. So they kind of take on a little bit of a fan perspective, kind of homers, not maybe really being journalists, kind of selling out a little bit as far as giving an accurate pick, or because it's 25 of 26 that have them 10 wins or more, it's a consensus. The Saints are a winner, and they're a playoff team. When you got them at 10 media members picking 10 wins, 11 media members picking 11, 3 or 4 picking 12, 1 picking 13, it is a consensus. It's not a maybe they think this. The local media in New Orleans, clearly, even Ed Daniels has them 9-8, not a loser. The local media clearly has the Saints as a winner and a playoff team. A winner and a playoff team. That's something I throw out there, just like the over-under, the how many primetime games you have on major network television. I throw all that out there. I think that's the best way to do it. Hey, every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And Ronnie Lamarck does not slow down. 70-something years old. Just invested over $50 million. Real money. It's not some liner. Real money. $50 million in the Lamarck Automotive Complex. No, it's all brand new. It's all state of the art. $50 million. It's crazy. On over 15 acres. And I mean crazy in a good way. Now, you think Ronnie would be done. He goes across town. Now it's Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood in Harahan. Jefferson Highway at Horde. Jefferson Highway, corner Horde, right before Hickory. Easy for you old Jefferson folks, old Metairie folks, uptown folks to go River Road. Cut on over to Jefferson Highway, and you're at Lamarck Crescent City Ford. So Ronnie bridging the gap. The Lamarck Automotive Complex out by the lake. And Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood by the river. Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Yeah, talk about convenience. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. It is Wide Open Wednesday. You're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss, maybe something that's not being discussed enough, 766-9480. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. Thanks for checking us out. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. Thanks for checking us out online, YouTube, CoreyTalks.com, live streaming. The city arguing in court today to end the consent decree. You think about it, just sometimes stuff right out the bat sounds good. I remember Donald Trump said, this Iraq war, we should be using the oil to pay for the invasion, to pay for, freeing this country. The problem is they're a sovereign country that we invaded, right or wrong, agree or disagree, sovereign country, and we invaded them. You can't steal their assets to fund your invasion. That would send what kind of message to North Korea, Russia, China? Go into a country, invade them, justified for whatever reason, and then steal their assets to fund it? I think that's kind of like what Germany was doing in World War II. So it sounded good for maybe a millisecond coming out the gate, and then once you think about it at all, you're like, that's just not a very good idea. Not a very good idea. The city, boy, this consent decree, it's like a, knapsack full of cinder blocks. Every day you strap on this knapsack, and then your clothes are soaking wet. You're wearing boots that are heavy and filled with water, and you just judge it. It's just, we're bogged down. That's sort of what the consent decree is about. It's been there like a decade? Long time. The city's like, Latoya the Destroyer Cantrell, the city, we're going to go to court and argue that this consent decree, enough's enough. Free us from these shackles so we can go fight crime in New Orleans. The consent decree is a problem. a lot of folks like, yeah, it's long overdue, costs the city a lot of money. The consent decree with Pennington, when Clinton was president, there was a surplus. The feds paid for it. City of New Orleans is paying for this. So you're like, man, maybe that's a good idea. Reportedly, the judge was like, whoa. City of New Orleans, your argument here is the consent decree is the problem, and that's why you can't fight crime. I think you better get your ship in order, because the consent decree is not a problem. The consent decree was put in place because your police force was a problem, wasn't following the law, need to be reeled in, brought in, and correctly run and operated. So you're saying the consent decree is causing the problem, fighting crime in New Orleans? No, I think you got to fight the crime problem with the consent decree going down. Then we'll release it. Don't blame you guys not being able to fight crime in New Orleans on the consent decree. That's basically what this judge said. We'll see what the final ruling is. And sadly, it's not the NOPD. I want the consent decree lifted because it does restrict the NOPD on what they can do. But even an outnumbered, outmanned, understaffed, not enough boots on the ground NOPD, that's not any kind of a glaring problem. The glaring problem are woke judges and Jason Williams, distracted. I'm giving Jason Williams another chance. Jason Williams, post-federal trial. I mean, he got indicted while he was running for the office. This has been a cloud over his head. You think he's guilty, you think he's innocent, doesn't matter. He's proven innocent. He's acquitted. He's free. So hopefully, literally and figuratively, frees his mind, ready to take on the job. But hadn't really done a good job up to this point. It's just a rotating deal with the prison system, with the criminal justice system in New Orleans. It is beyond broken. So consent decree and NOPD, hey, a spoke on the wheel, another cog. I want the consent decree lifted too. I want the NOPD to be able to do what they need to do. But that argument may have backfired on the mayor and the city of New Orleans. Speaking of backfire, and this one certainly did, the Make It Right Foundation. How about Make It Wrong? Brad Pitt's Make It Wrong Foundation. A $20.5 million settlement, $20.5 million in this class action lawsuit. About 100 plus homeowners in the lower ninth. Now, you take out $6-7 million for attorneys, the standard 33 to 40% of the money. It leaves about 13 mil. We'll just do easy math. Let's call it 13 mil. Call it 100 homeowners, about 130,000 each. It's a little over 100 homeowners. So I don't know. Safe to say they're all getting north of $100,000. And I'm sure different size houses, different amount, but generally speaking, I think all those homes were about the same size. I'd say that the smallest maybe 800, 900, 1,000 square feet, and at the largest maybe 12, 13, 1,400 square feet. I wouldn't doubt that they're all the exact same square footage, like cookie cutter. Just different shapes, different designs, maybe different levels, that kind of thing. But same square footage roughly. So my guesstimate is folks are all going to roughly receive the same amount. Somewhere around $100,000, 100 plus thousand. Could be as much as 125, 130. I don't know if someone's out there that is one of the 100 plus plaintiffs in this class action lawsuit or knows someone and knows the dollar amounts. Rouse's Markets phone lines. Inquiring minds would like to know. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Liz Cheney loses in her primary in Wyoming and loses big time. She says she's not done, and the fight has just begun. Former Vice President Mike Pence says, defund the FBI, as stupid as defund the police, equally as dumb. Defund FBI, defund police. I'd have to concur with the former VP. He also says he would consider testifying for the January 6th committee if asked. He wants to testify. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, how about some Fausto's Italian Bistro tonight for dinner? This is simple. Folks that have been to Fausto's, that know Fausto's, they know exactly what I'm talking about. You folks that have been hearing me talk about Fausto's and know where it's located. Boy, I've seen Fausto's forever. I hear Corey talking about it forever. Wonder how that place is. What are you waiting for? It truly is some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. Chicken, veal, fish, all your favorites. Priced right, fresh. I mean, just nothing to complain about. Authentic. I love Fausto's. Lunch and dinner. Dinner just cranked up at 5. They'll go to 9 tonight. Who doesn't love Sicilian and Italian in New Orleans? What are you waiting for? Tonight for dinner, Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top Benchmore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Find decadent dining deals as part of Culinary New Orleans, August 1st through 31st. Treat yourself to prix meals, $25 or less for lunch and $45 or less for dinner and brunch. Visit culinaryneworleans.com and make your reservation today.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
I get asked the question a lot. Where did you get those glasses? I love those glasses at least once a week. It is consistent and it's crazy. Never have I gotten so many compliments on eyewear in my life. These glasses and my prescription sunglasses. Where did I get them? Art and Eyes on Magazine. An eyewear shop, store, boutique like none other. Something you might see in New York or Paris, literally. An incredible selection of quality eyewear you'll find nowhere else, and from world-class designers you probably never heard of. But right away, you're going to see the quality, feel it, touch it. You're going to be like, wow, so different from the stuff at the shopping mall, the franchise stores. About 50 plus designer brands, the best in the world. You can check out their website to get a little taste. But I would go to Art and Eyes on Magazine in between Louisiana and Napoleon, Riverside of Magazine. I'd go check them out myself. Thoughtfully curated with a staff that will assist you in finding the absolute right frames for you. Celebrating a decade. And I learned about them a year ago. Eyewear that's as unique as you. If you want to wear something everyone else wears, or you're looking for two pairs for $79, Art and Eyes is not for you. But if you wear prescription glasses, or you just want the best sunglasses you've ever owned, Art and Eyes on Magazine. You won't be disappointed. The website, a little long on the name, but easy to remember. Art and Eyes, New Orleans, LA. Art and Eyes, New Orleans, LA.com. Or Google them. Or better yet, go by. And they're open on Sundays too, which I like. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Super high quality eyewear. I love that place. Really is cool. If you wear eyeglasses, I went in there. I was like, man, I felt like a fool. Like, can't believe I didn't know about this place for 9 years. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Liz Cheney losing huge last night in Wyoming. The Trump endorsed candidate winning in that Republican primary. Cheney says she's not done. The fight has just begun. I think she's right. There's splintering in both parties. The Democrats, it's multiple splinters. You've got kind of blue dog Democrats, as they're called down here in the South, kind of the Manchin cinema types. Then you've got kind of your moderate mainstream Democrats. Then you got some more liberal progressive Democrats. And then you have these, woke socialist Democrats. And then you've got just about every ethnicity and black, white, old, young, gay, straight. Everybody's welcome. It's a gumbo. And then you have kind of like, but they're not Democrats with 19 messages to 19 different groups, but clearly two groups. The Donald Trump populist MAGA type folks, and then the folks like Quinn Hillier I get on the program, Liz Cheney, George Will, the anti-Trump folks that think this populist guy is wrecking the traditional, historic, conservative Republican Party. One thing's for certain, I mean, it's like the liberals, those groups, all those groups I mentioned, no one's thinking those folks are independent or Republican, and no one's thinking Liz Cheney or the Trump folks are anything but conservative Republicans. But there is splintering in that party, and Trump is still the powerhouse brand. What Trump says goes. Donald Trump owns the Republican Party. Hey, at least Republicans have an owner. Democrats have multiple owners. And when, what did Jim Fink say? When you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Speaking of quarterbacks, former VP Mike Pence says, defund the FBI as stupid as defund the police. And he's right on the money. He's right on the money. Those two things, Democrats, Republicans should all be in agreement on that. Defund the police, defund the FBI, extremists from the left and right, just bad idea, dopey and silly. Reform, change, make things more efficient and better. That's how America works. I think that you might have some problems there. Might have to do some of that, but defund police, defund FBI. I agree with the former VP Mike Pence. Both are equally stupid, ridiculous. Really is. Brad Pitt, what a screw up. Just short-sighted Brad Pitt. No city or state approval, just head first. No, hey, what's New Orleans or the state's master plan? Just from afar, devastation of Katrina, lower Ninth Ward flooded, these poor black folks, let me go in and build a bunch of houses. And I'm Brad Pitt, I'll be able to raise the money. $20.5 million settlement, $20.5 million class action lawsuit settlement, about 100 Ninth Ward homeowners. I guess they're going to get about 100,000 each, something like that. I mean, it's 20.5 million, but you figure 6-7 million, 33% to 40%, could be as much as 40% of that 20.5 million goes to the lawyers. And then the 100 plus homeowners get the rest. No, Brad Pitt, ready, fire, aim. That part of the lower Ninth Ward, not the part by the river, not the lower Ninth Ward in between St. Claude and Claiborne, but that northern part in between Claiborne and Florida Avenue, in between the Industrial Canal and Chalmette, St. Bernard Parish, should have been abandoned. Go drive through there right now. You'll be like, it is abandoned. There's a few dozen houses tops. There's hundreds and hundreds of lots and home sites just abandoned, weeds and some that are 3-4 feet high, 10 feet high, literally. Wild animals. No, the poor people that live there, and I don't mean poor economically, I just mean the poor people that they didn't bargain for this. This is what they bargained for. This wasn't part of the deal. They wanted to move back into a neighborhood. Those folks should have been move the house, rebuild them a new house on the south side of Claiborne, in between Claiborne and the river, Claiborne and St. Claude and the river, not Claiborne and Florida Avenue. But Brad Pitt goes in there and starts building houses and screws up the whole thing because he just did it on his own. And obviously the houses were crap. So not a lot of good from the Make It Right Foundation. Make It Wrong Foundation is what it is. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Young's Dry Cleaning with you since 1940. That's why I say they're a New Orleans institution. 82 years of excellence. The biggest dry cleaner in the region because they've always been the best dry cleaner. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations, Find out more at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation